Hi guys, it's Josh Lloyd here for an NBA DraftKings first look for Friday. There are 10 games on. Before we get into it, go and hit the notification bell, hit the thumbs up, drop your comments as well as we're recording, and not as we're recording, as you're watching the recording. Let's talk about these games across the NBA. First one, New Orleans and Philadelphia. No Brandon Ingram for the Pelicans. So the Sixers are 8.5 point favorites. The total's 228.5. You'd have to imagine that it's down to Najee Marshall or James Johnson to get the start, but regardless, both guys get a boost in their value and in their playing time. Marshall is priced at just 4,100, and there is a real 25 to 30 point upside here with him. And the same goes for James Johnson, who's only at 3,300. Now, we've seen Jimmy put up some really, really big performances. We've seen that time and time again. A 22 pointer here in 21 minutes. If he gets 30 minutes, we're talking your big 30 plus type numbers from James Johnson. That is a distinct possibility. So don't rule him out as being a good play here. 49 for Eric Bledsoe. It is very, very far from a sexy option, but he is going to have to take some more shots with Ingram out. I don't think there's too much doubt about that. Whether he is exciting or not is a question for you to answer. The answer to that is no. But he can look, 25 plus in three consecutive. 4 out of the last 5 out of the last 6. He's had 25 plus, and at 4,900 without Ingram, it's not something to completely disregard. I'd be more wary about Sixers players, for sure. Because I just don't know if this game's a blowout. Embiid and Harris and Simmons, they're all going to be limited. I am pretty interested in Billy Hernangomez, who's at 5,000. Steven Adams is out, so Hernangomez will start. There will be minutes for Jackson Hayes, but in general, Hernangomez has been the guy getting the bulk of that playing time in those games that Adams has been out, and he is, to me, the preferred option there. Lonzo's at 81. Now, we know Lonzo's been putting up some big performances. He did have a stinker in there, but he's rolling. 50 average over the last 5. There is some risk at that sort of salary with him, but I don't think that he should be just completely discounted. Next game we look at is the Boston Celtics. They are taking on the Chicago Bulls. This is a back-to-back for the Bulls after they handily defeated the Hornets. Zach LaVine and Nikola Vucevic returned to action on Thursday. LaVine after his 3-week COVID absence, Vuce with a shorter-term absence there. The Celtics will be once again without Jaylen Brown. Rob Williams has also appeared on the injury report as questionable, so that is obviously something worth paying attention to. Williams is at 5,900, and going up against the Bulls is a good opportunity, but I'm just a little bit worried about what his minutes look like in this scenario. I do like Fournier at 5,400, who looks to be finding a little bit of form, and with Jalen out, it is helping his usage and his playing time. So I think he's at least somewhat of an option for us there. Tatum's at 10.5 and Vooch is at 10.4. Both guys have been playing at a pretty high level in their last few, averaging 55 for Tatum and 53 for Vooch over their last 5. So some solid enough value. If I had to go with the guy with the higher upside, it's probably going to be Tatum in this scenario. While Levine's at 9,800, and I just don't feel super comfortable using him on a back-to-back first games back from COVID, especially at that sort of elevated price. I think Kemba Walker's an option for us. He's at 7,600. His last game was really impressive, and I don't think the Kobe White, Zach LaVine backcourt is the defensive juggernaut to really put too much of a clamp on him. Wouldn't want to use White, but Daniel Tice at 53 is probably an interesting cash game guy. He looked all right against Charlotte, put up some pretty good numbers. It is hard to 100% trust it, but it's not one to just completely discount, I don't think. All right, let's go on to the next game. It is the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Miami Heat. No Jaden McDaniels for Minnesota, so there's a power forward spot open there. Whether that's Jared Vanderbilt or Juancho Hernangomez remains to be seen, or if they just split the minutes. While for Miami, Oladipo's out and Butler and Hero are both listed questionable. Now, we've got Vanderbilt at 3,300. If he gets minutes, he can produce in that sort of role. Of course, he's listed as, what position is he listed as? As a center/power forward over here, wherever I can find him, yeah. I think there's 20-point upside pretty clearly with him, while Naz Reid at 3,600 is also an option. They can play him next to Towns also. I like 7,300 for D'Angelo Russell in this matchup, while Anthony Edwards at 79. That is a lot for Edwards, for sure. Obviously, he was great in the last game with 66 and 49 and 42, but there is a risk that he goes under 40 points. I wouldn't say he's an absolute fait accompli to have in a lineup. 10-6 for Towns against Adebayo is not one that I'd look at, and 93 for Adebayo feels like it's a little bit too high. I am interested somewhat in Trevor Ariza. If we do hear news that Jimmy Butler's out at 4,600, I think that would work. While Kendrick Nunn, last few have been a little bit down from him, and his salary is up $500, so that's probably one that I will be less interested in than perhaps I should be. Houston and Milwaukee. Well, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. for this game because the Rockets have 13 players listed on the injury report as either out, questionable, or doubtful. The statuses that we need to watch: Olynyk, Augustine, Wood, and Tate are all questionable. This is going to, there's value that can increase for Martin, Brooks, Lamb, Jeffries, but if those 4 guys are out, the Rockets have got like 5 players and they can't play the game. So what would they'd have to do what they did last game with Augustine and dress them and then not play them? I don't know how the hell this works. There is a lot that needs to be decided upon. So I'm not going to go heavily into these, but 3,300 for Jeffries, 3,400 for Lamb, 3,900 for Brooks. Oh, Kevin Porter's out. That's something I need to mention. Avery Bradley's out too. So there's going to be opportunities in that backcourt for sure for Brooks. Opportunity for Martin if Tate is out. Olynyk and Wood are going to be pretty strong if they play, but we just don't know. While for the Bucks, Chris Middleton is not on the injury report, but again, how hard are these Bucks going to have to go in this game? This literally could have a 20-point spread. There's no spread release at this point, but it could be a 20-point margin. The safest guy I reckon out here is Kenyon Martin at 4,700. That's probably the safest play on the entire board for this game, with value to go up. But I don't trust Holiday or Middleton or Antetokounmpo or any of those guys just because of the chance that they play 20 minutes and the game is over. So I wouldn't be pre-planning these guys in at this point because there's just so much that we are not aware of with that Rockets rotation, and there's a lot of value that can open up. We're just not there with it yet. Orlando and Charlotte, the Hornets are 9-point favorites, and the total is 216 points here. Devontae Graham has missed the last few for Charlotte. We don't know whether he'll play here. We know that Hayward and Martin and Bridges will all be out. For the Magic, Akiki and Ross and Carter Williams, those guys are all sidelined. So minimum salary, Iggy Brazdeikis. He is playing quite a few minutes at the moment, Brazdeikis. Minimum salary is absolutely appealing. 13 points doesn't cut it, but 23 does. And if he's going to be getting 30-plus minutes, which he's gotten in the last 2, he's at least an option for us. I think 6,100 for Mo Bamba with Wendell Carter out is good. Malik Monk really saluted on Thursday. Can you expect that in back-to-back games? Probably not, but his salary is low enough to consider it. I like RJ Hampton at 5,200. That looks really good to me. While LaMelo Ball was pretty poor on Thursday, there was some foul trouble and poor shooting involved in that. I'm not sure 8,200 is the right price there for him. I do like PJ Washington Jr. at 7,000 though, even though they started him at power forward. Mo Wagner at 5,500, he'll get pretty decent minutes starting next to Mo Bamba almost assuredly, while 52 for Jalen McDaniels is okay, but there is a certain amount of uncertainty in that one. Cleveland, the Cavs, they take on the Mavs. The Cavs-Mavs Bowl. Back-to-back here for Dallas after beating the Nets. I don't expect Porzingis to play in this one, nor do I expect Maxi Kleber to play. We know Darius Garland is out. Timmy Hardaway's at 5,700. I think that looks pretty good. We know that he can put up some big numbers with that extra usage. While Doncic is at 10,900. Is there a chance they don't play Doncic in this one? It's a back-to-back. I'd watch for that one. If he is out, then Brunson, Richardson, they get boosts. Jarrett Allen's at 72. Without Porzingis, I do think that this works all right for Allen. I wouldn't be super excited about it, but I'm marginally interested in it. And I'm always going to be interested in Isaiah Hartenstein at 3,100 because I know he can put up 20 points. I know he can put up 25 points. Would I want to trust it? Probably not. But it's at least one that I'm considering. Finney Smith's at 56, not keen. 87 for Colin Sexton is just too high for my liking. The next game, you're going to be shocked. This game is impacted by injuries. It is the Denver Nuggets and the Utah Jazz. No Conley, no Mitchell, no Dozier, no Barton, no Morris, no Murray. Lots of blokes out in this game. Austin Rivers at 3,700. He's not going to be as good as he was in the last game against the Knicks, but he's obviously an option. 3,200 for Big Shaq Harrison. He played high 20s in minutes last game. He's going to be an option for us. JaMychal Green, maybe, probably not. Nikola Jokic at 10,800. Interesting matchup against Gobert, but under 11,000 for Jokic looks good. 75 for Clarko feels somewhat too high, but I do like Faku at 5,100 if we're looking for a guard. And then Gobert is all the way up at 9,000, and that to me is just way too high. While Maga Porter is at 8,600. Against this Jazz team, I just think that's too high for Porter. I just don't want to spend that much on him. Same with the 68 on Bojan Bogdanovic. The Knicks and the Suns. The Suns are 6-point favorites, and the total here is 218 points. Manuel Quickley and Alec Burks are both doubtful for the Knicks, while Jay Crowder is out for the Suns and Cameron Johnson is questionable. So, does this put Elfrid Payton in play? At 3,300, he's going to get more minutes. Could he have 25 points? Maybe. Yes, probably yes. I think he's an option amazingly. Chris Paul is at 7,600. He looks all right to me. Bridges at 56 looks really strong. I love what Bridges is doing at the moment. While the double royal, Julius Randle 10-1, it feels like it's a little bit too high. He's averaging just 43 over the last 5. Derrick Rose at 6,000, I also think is in play here with quickly out. And then Ayton at 67, I don't think we can trust him at all. While Booker's at 84, and that feels like a really solid enough cash type play. The Kings, they are hosting the San Antonio Spurs, a team that is absolutely spiraling at the moment, San Antonio. Injury-wise, no Fox, no Halliburton, of course, for Sacramento. Marvin Bagley's at 5,900, but we just don't know the status of the pencil Harrison Barnes, because if Barnesy is out, that does help Bagley, but if Barnesy is in, do they start Bagley? Do they start Harkless? Where does that rotation go? Bagley at 59 is all right, and his points and rebounds game is suited to DFS, so that does work. Lonnie Walker's only a GPP guy, but we do love Delon Wright, who is putting up huge numbers. Now, to be clear, though, Wright's last game has included 8 steals and blocks and then 7 steals and blocks. So the numbers have been through the roof for that reason, and if they fall off, which is absolutely likely, then the numbers won't quite be as high. At 6,800, he's still okay, but just don't expect the 50-plus that we've got in the last game. Devin Vassell's at 3,400. Not that keen on him. I'm much more keen on him than, say, Keldon Johnson. While Buddy Hield at 8,000, I love what Bud's doing at the moment. He is producing in categories that aren't just scoring. So I think with the absences of Fox and Halliburton, he is an option for us. The last game of the day, it is a back-to-back for the Lakers. They won't have LeBron or Schroeder or Taylor Horton-Tucker. So Alex Caruso is at $4,000. Sorry, I haven't been adjusting my little logos here. That's my bad. That's a lot that I've missed, man. Sorry. Alex Caruso is at $4,000. I think that he's got to be an option for us. KCP at 3,800 is worth looking at. Carmelo Anthony at 37. Melo's doing all right at the moment, putting up some pretty good numbers, and at that price, he's in play. While Nurkic at 7,000, I think he can absolutely tear Andre Drummond apart, to be honest. I'm not interested in using Drummond or Harrell or Gasol. 97 for Damian Lillard. He looks to be back. He's going to be up against a team who's down quite a few players in that backcourt, so I like that one. Not keen on Anthony Davis, nor Montrezl Harrell, as I mentioned. While Norman Powell at 64, probably just a little bit too high there for Storm and Norman. Let's have a look right across the slate where the value lies. It's in Houston, obviously, with Jeffries and Lamb and Brooks, those sort of players. KJ Martin. I like Vanderbilt, Brazdakis, Caruso, Bumba, Shaq Harrison, Naz Reid, Alfred Payton, Najee Marshall, Austin Rivers, Marvin Bagley, Malik Monk, James Johnson, RJ Hampton, KCP, Isaiah Hartenstein, maybe D'Angelo Russell, and Chris Paul comes out looking pretty good as well. Guys, that'll do it for me today. Don't forget, follow along on this podcast. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, hit the thumbs up, and drop your comments down below, guys. We are done here. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. See ya.